You're listening to Millcaster Tales, brought to you by knowhownonprofit.org.
It'll have to be quick. Part 1. What impact is Florian, recently promoted to Assistant Director at Voluntary Action Millcaster, having on the others in his team? Sorry guys, got to postpone our meeting. Completely swamped. Florian's voice trails off. He gazes round distractedly at the neat piles of paper on his desk. Bea and Angie, network development workers at Voluntary Action Millcaster, look at each other and raise their eyebrows. But Flor, we've got to complete that capacity builders report. Jim wants to see it on Monday, remember? And it's now Wednesday, says Bea, her voice rising. Sure, I know, Florian responds, not looking up. Just got to get this stuff done for Jim before he goes off to the conference later. Let's meet tomorrow. Angie tries to sound calm. When, Florian? What time tomorrow? I'll get back to you. Promise. Bea and Angie return to their desks. Angrily, Bea tosses onto the floor the pile of papers she'd prepared for the meeting. In doing so, she accidentally knocks something off Angie's desk. Bea, my favourite cat mug. Oh, Ange, sorry. That's the third time Flor's put us off. I get everything ready, then he postpones at the last minute or says it'll have to be quick. He may be a brilliant assistant director, she says sarcastically, but he's a crap manager. I'm just... Oh! Shh, says Angie, seeing that Bea is getting upset. Let's go for a sandwich. It's almost lunchtime. Not noticing that Angie and Bea have left, Florian reviews his absolutely must-do today list with mounting dismay. His usually helpful system of coloured symbols and lines don't seem to be reducing the number of urgent tasks. Everyone who comes up to his desk that morning, even for a friendly word, gets a terse grunt. Flor's really enjoying his new role, says someone ironically. Munching her favourite hummus and mung bean wrap on the park bench, Bea's voice rises. I'm going to complain, Ange. Flor's keeping all the good work. What's he left us to do? Just bits and pieces. Bet he is writing the capacity builders report right now. That would have been all our work before. Yeah, I wonder that too. He knows it's got to be in next week. Let's put in a grievance. He's had 3 months to settle down in that role. Come on, Ange. Let's see what happens tomorrow. He said he'd see us, and we can finish the draft report on Friday, Angie says soothingly. Remember, we were good mates before his promotion. I don't want to get him into trouble. No, Bea shouts. I've had enough of being ignored. And you're just as bad. You're too soft. She leaps up and grabs her things. I'm going home. Bea, you can't. What'll I say? Angie calls out, watching Bea stomping off across the park. Mid-afternoon, Jim, the director of VAM, rings Florian to ask about progress on some statistics. There's been a significant increase in the number of requests for help from frontline organisations, and he wants to see the numbers. This will be useful for the conference he's attending tomorrow, looking at implications for the sector of proposals made by the coalition government, showing the impact of the recession on umbrella organisations like VAM. Brilliant, Flor, thanks, said Jim, collecting the information later and scanning it quickly. You're a walking website. Thank goodness you keep us on track with all the stuff coming in. That article by Richard Gutch was spot on about future trends. Could you also give me a short written brief on the impact on Millcaster organisations of having to compete for contracts? You know, commissioning, subcontracting for bits of a bigger contract, etc. Florian smiles wanly. As Jim packs up to leave for the conference, he reflects on what an inspired decision it was to promote Florian to assistant director. An exceptionally talented young man. Unlike some others, he thinks, noticing Angie's glum expression, and the fact that she doesn't seem to be doing anything at the moment. And where's Bea? Not seen her since this morning. How's the capacity builders report going, Angie? He asks, passing her desk. Okay, Jim, she mumbles, blushing. Remember, Monday's the deadline. I'll want to see it first thing, he warns. As he leaves the office, Jim thinks, must have a word with Flor about those two. Florian works furiously all afternoon, hoping to make a dent in his growing list of work, a lot of which now seem to be 5-star, really urgent. A new mug, blueberry muffin and card saying sorry greet Angie. Oh, B, so glad to see you. Was really worried yesterday. Why wouldn't you return my calls? You know why. But I'm really sorry. Didn't mean to take it out on you. It just all got too much. Texted Florian to say I felt sick, and that was true. Angie gives B a hug and sips her tea. Love the mug. Thanks, B. I'm going to see Flor now. Watch out for fireworks. B goes up to Florian's desk and asks when he's going to meet them. Angie watches, sighing audibly when she sees Florian shake his head. Told you so, Ange, says B, marching back to her desk. And he's got all the figures we need, so there's no way we can get this finished by tomorrow. If we get into trouble, I am telling Jim what's been going on. And I'm going to email Flor now so there's a record of what we tried to do. Jim, returning from his conference on the bus on Friday evening, energised after a successful day, passes the VAM office. He does a double take and swivels round to look again to check what he thinks he saw. For goodness sake, he mutters out loud. All the lights are on, at 9 p.m.
You've been listening to Millcaster Tales. That was It'll Have to Be Quick, Part 1. Keep up to date with the latest Millcaster events and discussions at knowhownonprofit.org.